It just might be the perfect storm. The industry has bandied about this notion of going from 12 to 42 volt for more than 20 years. So why would so many car companies be racing to get to a 48 volt mild hybrid in production?
Why 48 volts and why now? Everyone's heard 48 volt for years. Back in early 2000s, we thought that by 2005, 42 volts would be across the board. I know that personally. I ran our generator business back then, and we had a 42 volt generator ready to go, brand name Energen, and it was going to happen. And then it didn't.
Why will 48 volt mild hybrid work this time? Regulatory pressure that wasn't there 10 years ago.
And as more regulatory pressure comes in, the OEMs continue to look for ways to not only improve the internal combustion engine, but to take advantage of additional power from electrification to help turn off the engine when it's not needed.
In Europe, the average vehicle produces about 150 grams of CO2 for every kilometer driven. By 2021, car companies will be required to average 95 grams of CO2.
If you look at the fleet averages today, they're miles away from these targets. And in Europe, they are going to penalize the OEMs, and they're going to penalize them severely. If their fleet average ends up being 105, that means they're over by 10 grams, and it'll be 10 grams times the amount of vehicle times 95 euros, which is a big number.
China's regulations kick in even sooner. 117 grams of CO2 by 2020. The U.S. measures fuel economy, not emissions, but the challenge is just as big.
They have to be at 54.5 by 2025. That's in less than 10 years. They have to move by almost 25 miles per gallon improvement. In the past 15 to 20 years, they haven't moved even 10 miles per gallon on average. So that's the way to think about how big the gap is, how much improvement is needed, and why they're looking for other levers.